Hey people, welcome to the channel Rats, where I reviews about some fictional, non-fictional and other kind of novelic stuff. Today, I'm super excited to talk about a book that completely flipped my perspective on one of the oldest stories in Indian mythology, the Mahabharata. The book is called The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, and if you haven't heard of it yet, stick around, especially if you love stories that mix history, mythology, drama, and strong female voices. So let's start at the beginning. If you have grown up in India or even heard of Indian epics, you probably know the Mahabharata, the legendary war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Gods, curses, dharma, fate, betrayal, the whole package. But this book, it takes the same world and tells it from the perspective of Draupadi, or as she calls herself, Panchali. And let me tell you, this is not the Draupadi you might have pictured from old TV shows or history books. This is her real, raw, human side, the side that thinks, doubts, dreams, and even defies. The novel starts with Draupadi's birth, which is already different from most of us. She is literally born out of fire, the daughter of King Drupad, a gift from sacred flames, but from her first breath, she realizes that even though she was born for a purpose, she has no real control over her life. And that theme, right there, the fight for control, is what shapes the whole book. As Panchali grows up, she is clever, sharp, and constantly questioning the world around her. She is not content with being silent or submissive like the other women in her palace are expected to be. She asks tough questions about fate, power, love, and what it means to be a woman in a world where men holds all the strings. And you feel her loneliness, you feel her frustration, you feel her desire to matter beyond just being someone's wife, daughter, or queen. Fast forward her swimwear, the famous scene where she ends up married to not one but five men, the Pandavas. A lot of people already know this part, but the book makes you feel how surreal, confusing, and honestly unfair this moment is for her. She wasn't asked what she wanted, she was used like a trophy to seal an alliance. And from there, her life just keeps spiraling deeper into a web of politics, war, and personal loss. Even the Palace of Illusions, this grand, magical palace built by the Pandavas, which should have been her symbol of power and pride, ends up being another illusion, another thing she can't hold on to. And the way Divakaruni writes her inner world is just beautiful. You don't see Draupadi as a perfect goddess, you see her as a woman who struggles with jealousy, ego, regret, and heartbreak. One of the most powerful parts for me was her secret, unspoken connection with Karna. She spent so much of her life wondering what if. What if she had chosen him at the Swamvar? What if fate had let her love him openly? It's such an heartbreaking but deeply human emotion, this invisible thread of longing that runs through the whole story. And of course, the most famous heartbreaking part of her life, the dice game, where she was humiliated in front of the entire court. That scene, told through her voice, doesn't just break your heart, it makes you angry because you finally see the women inside the legend. Not just the victim everyone pities, but the fire that swears revenge and shapes history. Even the war, the great Kurukshetra war, feels different when seen through her eyes. For her, it's not about honor or dharma, it's about loss. Every win feels like another wound. And the most haunting thing, the book shows you that even after the war, even after revenge, Draupadi is left with the same question she has had since the beginning. Who am I beyond all this? beyond all the roles the world gave me. The Palace of Illusions isn't just a retelling of the Mahabharata, it's a story about identity, about the silent battles women fight behind the scenes of history, and about the illusions we all chase love, power, revenge. Only to realize in the end that they can't fill the emptiness inside. The writing is rich, poetic, but never too heavy. It feels like Draupadi is sitting beside you, telling you her story like an old friend. And honestly, once you finish the book, you can never see her the same way again. So, if you are someone who loves mythology but wants to see it from a fresh, deeply personal angle, or if you just love beautifully written stories about strong, flawed, unforgettable women, this book is 100% worth your time. Thanks for hanging out with me for this little review. If you have read it, let me know your favorite part, and if you haven't, add it to your list. Until next time, happy reading!